Greetings from Costa Rica. Today is September 5th, and we are doing a very long overdue interview with the guru of insurance in Guanacaste. I have a lot of clients ask me about home insurance, health insurance, life insurance, auto insurance, and most often I don't have great answers directly to give them. This is the person who should answer your questions. He's going to answer my questions today in our interview. Phil Eitman, thank you very much for joining me. And your business is allinsurancecr.com?
Yes. We have a marketing name of allinsurancecr.com that we go under. And I've started doing insurance here I moved here about 17 years ago, and I started doing insurance here about 15 years ago. My daughter moved down here to finish high school. I didn't even know it existed here. And so I looked at it and I searched for it and became familiar with the business, and then I became an agent of one company. And then I became an agent of more than one company. And then I became a broker, so I can offer every company out to our clients, so every client could see options, and I wasn't just loyal to one company because I actually felt I needed to work for the companies. I had to work for the clients.
Absolutely. I asked somebody about Phil, and they immediately responded, well, Phil is the only person who provides quotes from all providers available in Costa Rica. So he's got this comprehensive perspective on these different offerings. Phil, let's start out talking a little bit about homeowners insurance here. You were telling me it's a little bit different in Costa Rica than in the United States or Canada.
Yes. In the U.S., which I'm more familiar with, I'm from the U.S., it seems that they cover everything, what I see from commercials and all kinds of crazy stuff that happens. Costa Rica, they cover more of just natural disasters and sometimes break-ins depending on the policy. So if a tree falls on your house, or there's an earthquake, and or a flood or heavy rains, that will be covered, but not for lack of maintenance. For instance, there was a house that was not occupied for a considerable amount of time, and they had a bat problem in the attic. Mm-hmm. And it was really serious. And they didn't cover that because how the owner didn't know all these bats were coming in and out of their house every night. Yeah. So certain things like that. And another important point of when I started as a business, I realized the lack of communication between insurance companies is why people don't like insurance companies. You get different answers from different people all the time. Yeah. So we had to set up my team that was bilingual, spoke very good English, to protect the clients from the pain of dealing with insurance companies every day. Mm-hmm. So our clients will probably never talk to the insurance company. We offer what we call a free VIP concierge insurance advocacy group that will fight and argue for you like crazy family members. Mm-hmm. And in fact, there's no other way. I'm from New Jersey, so our inside joke is, you want a guy from Jersey collecting your claims.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so your clients don't have to wait on the phone trees trying to get processed, etc.
Yeah, a lot of problems with clients have is they give up on their claims. They don't bother. But since we have a staff that do it every day, you don't have to worry about that.
And I should have let you give a little more of the basics. How many people are working here in your office? How many insurance companies are you working with? And I wanted to mention, this is a completely informational video. People who are on my channel are providing their expertise without any expectation that we're going to do some kind of commission deal. I'm not recommending Phil and his brokerage. There are insurers out there, but he's an incredible source of information, and just wanted to put that perspective and disclaimer in there.
That's good.
This is not paid promotion.
That's good, because we're not going to pay you.
I was going to, yeah.
No, we put all our funds, that type of money, into the staff that we have. We have about 8 or 9 staff, and we have 3 people just working on health, 2 people just on auto, a few people just on home, and some other areas of support. Yeah. So the support is everything, because the truth is, what's going to happen when you have a claim, if you have a disaster, who are you going to call? You want to call the people you know that you've been speaking to every day, or the people that have been emailing you every year or whatever, the same people. They've been with me 9, 10 years, and That's the most important part over price, which we're competitive. It's all the same.
Yeah.
Is what's going to happen afterwards.
When you need a claim.
That's the most important thing. And so getting back to the homes, the cost of a home insurance, just a quick average, is $200 per year per 100,000 of construction. So if your house construction value is $500,000, then your insurance is going to be about $1,000 a year. Now keep in mind that this is a construction value. Doesn't take into consideration the land, doesn't consideration of the location. So a $500,000 construction house on the beach might be worth $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
One in the forest somewhere might be worth $500,000.
Yeah.
But they're only going to get insured for the construction value, the replacement value. I think if the house is less than 15 years old, the replacement value of the house.
Yep.
A couple other things, and I'll let you go to your question if I might answer them in this, that the houses, your house of $500,000 might not get destroyed by an earthquake, but it could get damage. Could be $100,000 in damage. I just had somebody in my office last week, we were talking about it. Their house was $500,000 in value, and they had $120,000 damage from an earthquake. They didn't have insurance, and now they're asking.
Yep.
I mean, the earthquakes are rare. They're never supposed to be happening. But if you have a $500,000 construction house, $1,000 a year is not too much to pay to insure your $500,000 in damage.
Yeah.
Which, if something got completely wiped out. Now, we have trees that fall on houses.
Yeah.
A neighbor's tree could fall on your house. The neighbor's not responsible.
Yeah.
You're responsible. In the U.S. it might be different. I don't know how that works. Now,
in Costa Rica, your neighbor is if a tree from your property falls on your neighbor's house, the neighbor is responsible.
The neighbor's responsible.
That's great to hear, because I actually have a delicate situation out there, and those big trees on my hill are no longer as worrisome to me personally.
Worrisome to you. But yeah, that's and that does happen.
Yeah.
And then
now let me ask, with these, so let's imagine a tree falls on my roof, and we've gotten bids from 3 providers that the insurance company is going to accept, or how quickly can you get that $30,000, $50,000 in the hands of somebody who's had a branch? And tell me about that process.
They work pretty quickly. My wife, who's also an insurance broker, who's also an attorney.
Okay.
And so we're kind of, and again, I'm from New Jersey, and we read the policies.
Mm-hmm.
So we know what's covered, we know what's not covered. We don't listen to what somebody tells us what's covered. We actually read it and hold everybody accountable to it.
Yeah.
Page 37, line 400, section 3, it says this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we make sure of that. And the process goes pretty quick.
Okay.
It's, you have to call, you have to make an arrangement for the inspector to come to see the house for the insurance company. They come pretty quick. And the process is not that cumbersome.
Are we talking a month, 2
No, it
months?
should be faster.
Okay.
Yeah, it should
Even
be
faster than
yeah.
a month.
Yeah, it depends on how much damage it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if your house is leaking because it's raining inside, it's going to happen pretty quickly.
Great. And to reiterate one of the most important numbers that Phil threw out there, $200 per $100,000 of construction value. Now, yes, the insurer, and I imagine for homeowners insurance you're using mainly INS or foreign companies as well.
We use the companies that give us the best service.
Okay.
And all the companies we use are licensed in Costa Rica.
Uh-huh.
So I guess it was about 20 years ago, the CAFTA, the Central American Free Trade Agreement, was signed, and that opened up the insurance business to other companies. INS, who was a quasi-government company, has been here forever.
Yep.
So the people that have been here forever mostly used INS, but over the years it's become more competitive. We insure overall over 2,000 policies, hundreds of homes, hundreds of cars, hundreds of health insurance families, and other policies, and some hotels and various businesses. So when we call, they
Yeah.
take the call.
Absolutely.
And so we get things taken care of. And so the companies that we are dealing with are licensed and have to report to SUHESE, which is a government agency of Costa Rica that regulates insurance companies. So they have somebody they have to report to, and that's who we work with.
Yeah, Costa Rica is, the number of ministries and overlapping oversight entities in the government is incredible. And so INS, which I refer to as INS, yeah, so previously the only national insurer with CAFTA, things have opened up, and thus you do have private insurers involved now.
And just a little bit more about the home insurance, that for years, especially when I started a business, people didn't get home insurance. And the reason why is because nobody bought with mortgages. There was no loans for, especially Americans, to get a loan in Costa Rica. So people said, I don't need home insurance. And realtors, because the service from insurance companies was weak, the realtors would say, you don't need it. You got a cement building, you got this, it's fine. So avoid it would take forever to close if you wanted to get home insurance.
Yeah.
It wasn't required to close like it is in the States and Canada, where if you have a mortgage, you have to have insurance on your house.
Yeah.
It's usually in the mortgage itself. So, but as the home values increased, and I'm here and my staff is here, more and more people got insurance. Well, it's only that much. That's all it
200,
is.
yeah.
That's all I gotta pay.
0.2% is an extremely low rate, especially because people are investing their full cash nest egg into their Costa Rica retirement dream in many cases.
So that's a little bit of the history where we got here now.
I was going to say, no, I'm absolutely... So I have observed on my channel before that many people don't get policies because, yes, they feel confident that their home can't be totally destroyed, and they also worry that bureaucracy related to insurance would be too problematic.
Yeah, no one will call them back. No one will call them back. No one will call them back.
Yeah.
No one will tell them when the renewal is.
Yeah.
You know, that people get policies canceled they didn't know. We set up our own renewal system with our own staff. We don't take it from them.
Yeah.
We send out everything we can in English.
Yep.
We don't just send out, the insurance companies will send out the renewals, but we'll send out our own in English. And that costs me a lot of money, but it's the only way I can actually
service a client.
Service a client, sleep at night, and feel like I don't have to worry about being tortured.
Yeah, because you don't want someone to down the line figure that they had insurance against something.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem we find with other agencies is that people get their insurance canceled because they're not told about it, or the renewal they didn't see it. And for me, that's the most important part of the business. Knowing the business.
Yeah, we had a homeowners insurance policy through INS. And I remember I had to put it on my calendar to reach out to them and go in and pay again. And I have to say, yeah, you're not motivated. You're a lot less motivated to renew when it's kind of something, oh man, I got to go do that today, instead of someone making it convenient for you.
Yeah, we made the whole thing simple, easy, and you're dealing with, my staff is so intelligent.
Well, you've been around, your business has been operating now for 15 years in total, or?
Yes.
When did you launch? Yeah.
It's about 15 years. We do joke at our annual party, dinner, or whatever, that we probably hired about 70 people to get the 10 that we have.
Yep.
And sometimes just for a day or 2 days, till we get people who could really grow, who are really smart, that are really aggressive when it comes to claims and service.
Yep.
And that's what we have. And that's really how the home insurance works. It's pretty boilerplate. It's pretty simple.
Yep.
It's pretty straightforward, most of it.
Absolutely.
And,
well, and with that, I want to move on to a juicier topic for some folks, which would be health insurance. Especially, I work with retirees. I work with a lot of families who are coming down and obviously they're coming from the U.S. where you don't live a month of your life without health insurance. Down here, they're aware that public hospitals, and we've talked about this on my channel, yes, it can be a lot of foreigners' preference, and really they're going to want to use private health care here. Now, you were telling me a little bit about the fundamental pros and cons of getting insurance in Costa Rica, and I was pretty taken aback. Tell me a little bit about how insurance through you works for families.
Okay. Well, first of all, the health insurance in Costa Rica and the medical care in Costa Rica, I'm pretty sure is one of the most important considerations you have to take when moving to Costa Rica. Moving to a foreign country, moving to a country you don't speak the language, which is like what I do, and I've been here a long time, I really don't speak the language. But surrounding yourself with people who do. So I've met with many families that were considering moving here and going to the schools and various things, and after talking to me, basically, that was a big point they told me later on why they moved here. The medical care is really split up into two areas. You have your public health care, and then you have your private. Why are there two different ones? The private is going to be better.
There's a private, just like there's a private and public health system in Canada,
right?
You know, and
so all right. So you think, all right. So what I've learned from Canadian clients is that you have your Canadian public health care, and now picture Costa Rica public health care.
Exactly.
From Latin America.
Yep.
It's so the delays and everything else, and that goes on with that, and they're over capacity all the time. And
it's a small country, small economy, and
it's over capacity all the time.
Yeah.
And so the private healthcare, which the private healthcare is very good, and it's newer facilities, better facilities, more doctors, more options, more better equipment. It's not quite as good as I would say as the U.S. And from personal and with the hundreds of, not thousands of claims we've filed, but you know you have your Costa Rica private healthcare. The most important thing to consider that is that if you have an emergency, you go to the private hospitals here, and you don't have cash, credit card, or private healthcare, they'll kick you out and send you to a public hospital, and that may not be too convenient.
No.
In Guanacaste, the private healthcare, medical care, have better air ambulances, which is better, more active air ambulances. That's what I found.
Yep.
Up here in order to get to, say, San Jose, which is a little bit further away, which does happen. The other thing that's, for people from the U.S., the healthcare costs about half to 30% the cost of U.S. coverage. And if you put that in perspective, that you can get the coverage in Costa Rica and will cover you here and in the U.S. and in Canada or worldwide for a lot less than it did in having healthcare in the U.S. Now, Canadians getting private medical insurance, healthcare insurance here in Costa Rica is going to cost you more than your public health care in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And they get a little shell shock sometimes. But over the years, we have, and there's been some more and more programs that have been introduced that have made it a little bit affordable, a little bit easier to swallow for Canadians who've never paid for health insurance except for 200% in taxes, whatever their high taxes are. Now, also we have families that have moved to Costa Rica from the U.S. as an example, and for a few years with their kids, and then they move back to the U.S. And when they move back to the U.S., there's an increase of premium, usually around 50%. And what they found is it's actually cheaper than getting healthcare in the U.S. Mm-hmm. So we have clients have moved to Costa Rica for a few years, moved back to the U.S., and still keep insurance with us.
Yeah.
Also because of our staff when it comes to emergencies.
Yep.
I mean, I gave you a quick example of how we work. Friday night, I'm in the States, and I get a text. My wife's being airlifted to San Antonio Hospital. Please take care of the insurance. Mm-hmm. He got into a car accident. We set up a WhatsApp group. 3 or 4 of my team members are on it.
Yeah.
I'm on it. We're calling the insurance company. We're calling the hospital. We're making sure, like raised family members, that's who we are. We don't care about anybody else. Just get the air ambulance, make sure that's taken care of, make sure this is taken care of, making sure the hospital's waiting for them when the person gets there. So my staff is all on that.
Yeah.
Those claims are $525,000 in claims.
Wow.
Everything was paid for that was supposed to be paid for in accordance to the policy, and we made sure of it. The same year, the husband needed to get back surgery. So this is an international plan. He's in Costa Rica. He elected to go to the U.S. to have back surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So he was able to go to the U.S. to get one of the best doctors on back surgery you can find.
Because he was insured here.
Right.
Wow.
So it's even if you don't go to the U.S. Or Canada and you live here, it's good to have coverage that covers you there too.
I was gonna say, and that was shocking to me, or really important, realizing that my policy here would cover me in the States, because yes, everybody who lives here, whether you're moving for a couple years, you're gonna be back in the States for a week or two.
Right.
And if you're like my family, you're gonna make. We drove 2,000 miles. We went to trampoline parks. We went rollerblading. We did every single activity under the sun. And I kept thinking, man, if one of my kids breaks a leg and I need to give them $20,000 to $30,000 worth of medical care, in my uninsured case, I would have been absolutely up a creek without a paddle. We got back just fine. The trampoline park was fine. Everything worked out, but...
Yeah, it's just, nothing's supposed to happen. But stuff happens. And Costa Rica lets you put your guard down and everything because it's so beautiful. So Porta Vida.
Yep.
You could be traveling, kid gets a stick in his eye. And stuff happens.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the thing is, it's entirely plausible with my 8 and 10-year-old boys, yeah.
Yeah, it's, we had not the heartbreak, the Grim Reaper, but this is the one time I am.
Yeah.
We had a family here for years, and super healthy, chiropractor, vegan, all that stuff, super healthy. Kids are grown. Driving through the desert to a family reunion, the wife starts coughing up blood.
Oh, jeez.
Evidently, and so we had to get a helicopter, all that, and this whole thing. Never had a claim, perfectly healthy. Evidently, she must have had a tumor in her stomach lining. Nobody saw it, 3 kids for years. And at that moment, it went through. So this stuff happens.
I was going to say, I bet you have a really just joyful quiver of stories that we could get into sometime if everybody wants to hear grim stuff. But let's instead move on. We've talked about home. We've talked about health. Now, in Costa Rica, I want to make it clear on the auto front, you're required to pay marchamo. That is not car insurance. It will not cover your liability nor the collision damage done to your own vehicle. Marchamo is essentially a life insurance policy for drivers, if I'm not mistaken, or it's like a critical care policy for drivers.
It covers about $12,000 of third-party liability.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
I thought Marchamo didn't.
Yeah, $12,000.
Okay.
$12,000.
But let's say I want to protect my car against theft.
Third party,
Yeah.
not you.
Yeah.
It's third party, like if you run into somebody's house.
Okay.
You drive on their property and you kill somebody's cow.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't cover...
you hit another car.
Yeah.
A third party liability, that's what that's for.
It does not cover the damage the cow did to your car.
No.
You can pay the guy back for the cow. So you guys can also handle...
So we have auto insurance. Now, trying to phrase this to what you're used to having somewhere else. It works pretty much the same way. It's pretty much covers most things that could happen to your car. It's a little bit more complicated on the claim. It's not like I hear in the U.S. you take a picture of it and send it in and they take care of the claim. It's a little bit more complicated, and that's why we have our staff.
Yeah.
Again, you won't be hassled over the claims. It is a slower process sometimes, and we again, try to protect you from all the drama that goes on with that. But my staff has been doing that for 9 years, so they're used to it.
Yeah, and I assume your fee structure is essentially that people know what they're paying for both their insurance premium and your broker. They know what they're paying you, and it doesn't matter how many times you have to get involved and work on their behalf.
Well, by going to a broker like us, the costs are the same as going directly to an insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no added fees or anything like that nobody would be in business.
Yeah.
So they want us to deal with that. So it's worth it. I guess the business model is worth it to them to pay us, so they having less staff involved.
Yep.
But it's not enough money to pay you.
Yeah.
So we have we insure probably like 250 cars or more,
Mm-hmm.
and off the top of my head, I would say a lower price car is about $800. A higher price car, maybe $1,200 a year in insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll cover some third party liability, getting towed. I mean, if my car one day was flat, I just called the company to change my tire.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stand out there in the sun, change my tire.
Yeah.
So, and collision and some third party liability.
Okay.
And it insures the driver as long as they're legally driving and they're in the country legally, they didn't overstay their visa, they're old enough to drive. We have one.
Not loaded.
Well, we have one policy that covers drunk driving. I'm in! I'm in!
That seems, just pure evil.
I asked that 100 times.
Yeah.
I think I was drunk when I asked. No, I asked that 100 times. And so, the interesting thing about it is the newer cars, they give you a discount. So as the car gets older, the rates actually go up because there's more likely to have damage to an older car than a newer car.
Yep.
And
but $1,200 a year for you said a range of $800 to $1,200 for car insurance is really reasonable too.
Yeah. So I also it's also interesting. Keep this in the back of your mind. In the U.S., if you have a car accident and you switch companies, the companies are aware of your driving record. In Costa Rica, they're not. A lot of statements I end with, it's Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not advocating this.
Yeah, but
this is just one of those things. If you have a car accident and they raise your rates, you can switch companies.
And
we work with every company.
Yeah.
Again, we work with every company, and again, we work with the companies that give us the best service and we have the most leverage with.
Yeah.
And we have people switch policies. We currently have policies with other agents and other brokers to us all the time because of this concierge service that we provide of taking care of your claims, making sure you're renewing, making sure you're insured, and making sure you're getting a great, a most competitive product that you need.
Now, we've done home, auto, health. You also have life insurance.
Yes.
Do you broker renters insurance at all?
Okay, so regarding life insurance, we do provide life insurance. It's a little bit more expensive if you're living in Costa Rica versus if you're living in Canada or the US. If you move here and you have life insurance, you want to make sure it covers that you move to Costa Rica.
Okay. The actuarial tables suggest your risk of death goes up in Costa Rica.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know, or the market's not. I have no idea.
Or they just know they can charge you more. Yeah.
Well, so
Anyway.
And if you need a loan on a house that you're getting here, whether it's a private loan, most lenders will require life insurance.
Yep.
So you don't have to go through the foreclosure process. We just did a couple of big policies.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody from Europe, and we have them term or whole life that will build equity for years too.
Yeah.
So we have those policies too. That's why we go under all insurance. We do everything, whether it's small motorcycles or multi-million-dollar hotels. We do commercial properties, businesses,
boats.
Right, and pretty much everything you could think of. My wife, I'll throw that in too, is also an attorney that does happen to do closings and immigration. So we do a package of all the immigration, which is...
She's a Costa Rican attorney?
Yes, she's a Costa Rican citizen, originally from Peru.
Oh,
Costa Rican citizen.
Yeah.
And an attorney here.
And you la conquistó sin español. You won her heart without speaking Spanish.
Well, that was the key to relationships. No communication.
Or at least, yeah, a reduction of communication.
Yeah, you have to talk about it. It's too late.
So you've been happily married and...
We've been together 15 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing.
Well, and she speaks English.
Yes. And
So she can help all of your clients in English as well.
Yeah, she learned from a guy from Jersey.
Yeah, so she talks like...
So she's responsive, and so
Is she brusque and...
she knows her stuff and knows about the detail and is the one who will handle more difficult situations if there's a dispute on a policy.
Yep.
And will go to bat for us.
Yeah.
Better than I can, because I'll just get Jersey on it.
Absolutely. Well, personally, I know that I've previously been talking about the insurance situation. As I turn 41 and 42, I start to really change my tune on where I am. If you're moving to Costa Rica, of course, contact me, Costa Rica Matt, for real estate. You can email me at matt@costaricamatt.com. If you want to talk to Phil about insurance, I'm going to put his email address right up on the screen right now because we haven't discussed it yet. What's the best address for people to contact your brokerage?
philcostarica@gmail.com. PHIL Costa Rica @gmail.com.
Very easy to remember. You can get directly in touch. Greatly appreciate your insights into insurance. Thanks very much. It's great to catch up after all these years.
Thank you. Still here.
Pura vida.